In the late hours of the night in Washington, D.C., under the dim lights of the Oval Office, Donald Trump sat alone, surrounded by stacks of files and reports. The weight of the presidency had never felt heavier. The country was facing an unprecedented crisis. Organized crime had infiltrated the highest levels of government. The organization, known as the Kings of the Underground World, was not just a criminal network, it was a shadow government operating in plain sight. Their goal was clear: to destabilize the nation and seize control from within. Trump leaned back in his chair, rubbing his temples. The file on his desk detailed their operations: drug trafficking, arms smuggling, money laundering, and, most alarmingly, their infiltration into the FBI, CIA, and even the Department of Justice. The organization had eyes and ears everywhere. No one could be trusted. Trump knew he had to act fast, but he also knew that one wrong move could tip them off and jeopardize everything.
Don't forget to subscribe and like for more.
The next morning, Trump convened an emergency meeting with his most trusted advisors. The room was tense as he laid out the situation. "This isn't just about crime anymore," he said, his voice firm. "This is about the survival of our nation. We have a cancer growing within our institutions, and we need to cut it out, now." His security advisor, General Mark Harris, nodded in agreement. "We've been tracking their movements for months, Mr. President. They're highly organized and well-funded. But we've identified a weak point: their operations in New York. If we can disrupt their supply chain there, we might be able to cripple their network." Trump's eyes narrowed. "Then that's where we start. But we need to be careful. If they suspect we're onto them, they'll go deeper underground. This operation stays off the books. No leaks, no paper trails. Understood?" The room erupted in murmurs of agreement. Trump's chief of staff, Sarah Mitchell, raised a hand. "Mr. President, if we're going to do this, we need a small, hand-picked team. People we can trust implicitly." Trump nodded. "Assemble the team. I want the best of the best. And keep this quiet. If word gets out, we're finished." By nightfall, the team was ready. It included General Harris, a seasoned military strategist, Emily Carter, a brilliant cybersecurity expert, and Jack Thompson, a former CIA operative with a reputation for getting the job done, no matter the cost. Trump met with them in a secure location beneath the White House. "This is Operation Shadow Hunt," Trump began. "Our target is the Kings of the Underground World. They're using the Port of New York as their main hub for smuggling drugs and weapons. We hit them there, and we hit them hard. But we need proof of their connections to government officials. Without that, this whole thing falls apart." Jack Thompson leaned forward. "We'll need to go in undercover. If they see us coming, they'll scatter. I can get us inside, but it won't be easy." Emily Carter adjusted her glasses. "I can monitor their communications and track their movements in real time. But if they catch wind of what we're doing, they'll shut us out." Trump stood, his expression grim. "Then don't get caught. We move tonight." Under the cover of darkness, the team infiltrated the Port of New York. The air was thick with the smell of saltwater and diesel fuel. Cargo ships loomed in the distance, their silhouettes barely visible against the night sky. Jack led the way, his movements swift and silent. Emily followed close behind, her laptop slung over her shoulder. They reached a warehouse near the docks, where the organization was known to operate. Inside, crates of illegal weapons and drugs were being loaded onto trucks. Jack signaled for the team to hold back as he crept closer to eavesdrop on a conversation between two men. "Tomorrow night, we move on Capitol Hill," one of them said. "The meeting is set. Once we have the officials in our pocket, the country will be ours." Jack's heart raced. This was bigger than they had anticipated. He relayed the information to Trump via a secure comms device. "We need to move fast, sir. They're planning a takeover." Trump's voice crackled through the earpiece. "Get out of there. We'll handle it from here." The next night, Trump and his team prepared for the confrontation at Capitol Hill. The meeting was a trap, a gathering of high-ranking officials who had been unknowingly targeted by the organization. Trump knew he had to act quickly to prevent a catastrophe. As the meeting began, the team moved into position. Emily hacked into the building's security system, giving them access to every room. Jack and General Harris led a small squad of trusted agents to secure the perimeter. Trump himself entered the building, his presence concealed by the chaos of the event. But the organization was ready. As soon as Trump's team made their move, gunfire erupted. The building was plunged into darkness as the power was cut. Trump and his team were forced to fight their way through the shadows, their only advantage being their knowledge of the building's layout. In the heat of the battle, Trump confronted the organization's leader, a man he had once considered an ally. "You betrayed your country," Trump said, his voice cold. "For what? Power? Money?" The leader smirked. "You don't understand, do you? This country was never yours to lead. It belongs to us." Trump didn't hesitate. With a swift move, he disarmed the man and handed him over to his team. But the victory was short-lived. As they secured the building, Emily received an urgent message. "Mr. President, we have a problem. The organization has launched a nationwide cyber attack. Power grids, banks, and transportation systems are going down." Back at the White House, Trump and his team worked tirelessly to counter the cyber attack. Emily led the effort, her fingers flying across the keyboard as she tried to trace the source of the attack. "They're using a decentralized network," she said. "If we don't stop them soon, the entire country will be paralyzed." Trump paced the room, his mind racing. "What do you need?" Emily looked up, her eyes determined. "Time. And access to every major server in the country." Trump didn't hesitate. "You'll have it. Do whatever it takes." For hours, the team worked in silence, the tension in the room palpable. Finally, Emily let out a triumphant shout. "I've got it. I've shut down their network." The room erupted in cheers, but Trump knew the fight wasn't over. "We need to make sure they can't do this again. Emily, I want you to lead a task force to strengthen our cybersecurity. General Harris, round up every member of this organization. I want them brought to justice." In the days that followed, the country began to recover. The organization's leaders were arrested, and their network was dismantled. Trump addressed the nation, his voice steady and resolute. "Today, we have faced a great threat and emerged stronger. But this victory is not mine, it belongs to every American who refuses to bow to fear and tyranny. Together, we will rebuild. Together, we will prevail." As the speech ended, Trump returned to the Oval Office. The weight of the presidency still rested on his shoulders, but for the first time in weeks, he felt a sense of hope. The fight was far from over, but he knew that as long as he had his team, and the American people, by his side, they could face any challenge. And so, under the dim lights of the Oval Office, Donald Trump sat at his desk, ready to face whatever came next. The king of the underground world had been dethroned, but the battle for the soul of the nation was just beginning.